Jesse Eisenberg?
What's the second thing you wrote down?
They would come down the aisle and they would grab the heads and like lick the kids' heads.
He's late to everything, but when he gets there, they're like, hey, come on in. We're so happy you came.
Guys, one of my favourite films I've seen this year.
Oh, great.
It just ebbs and flows so beautifully between comedy and drama. It really is wonderful. However, one of the first notes I wrote down was feet. And probably because I don't like feet, that's why I was like, they're right there, front and centre.
Yeah.
Jesse, did you make sure you went and got a pedicure before your close-up?
That sounds like you.
No, they were bruised by that day because we were working so much. No, my feet were not in their prime condition, and let me tell you something, if they were, you would start to like them again.
Well, they're going to be on wikiFeet before you know it. And I checked, because you're not on there, and Kieran, you're not on there either.
I don't even know what, I don't want to ask. No, what is it? It's a thing
I
about
think it's
feet.
mostly women, isn't it?
I mean, there's like 34 pictures of my feet on there, and
What?
I'm no one. So that's
Yeah, it's women, right? I mean, it's...
No, it's men as well.
Oh, interesting.
So you're
Are
going
you
to be
bare
on
feet or just like your
bare
feet?
feet.
Well, how do they have pictures
They
of your
go
bare
to
feet?
Instagram,
You know-
they do all that kind of stuff.
That, or like, on press pictures, but if you're wearing
Yeah.
open shoes or whatever, those are the
I
ones, yeah.
You
see.
need to get
Why
your
don't
feet
you
out.
like feet? Like, what is it?
I don't know.
You just don't, ugh.
Yeah, just
Like if
don't-
someone's walking around barefoot in their own house and then you're like, ew,
Well,
I
if they're
really
not
wish I didn't go over to
particularly
their house.
attractive, But at least Jesse's were attractive.
That's right.
Well,
as
some are
far
nicer
as-
looking than others,
Yes.
but do you not like them in the way that like you don't want like a rat in your house? Like,
Maybe.
kinda?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't even
Weird.
like my own feet.
You don't like your own feet.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where this...
It's a,
do you
it's a-
wash them profusely because ew, gross, or do
I've
you
got
like
good
try not to
hygiene.
touch them?
I will look after them because
Okay.
they are essential, but they're not my favourite.
Unfortunately, that's our time.
Yeah, exactly. A good use.
Wow, really good use.
What's the second thing you
Everyone's
wrote
gonna go and watch it. That was it. Literally on my nose is
Feet.
just feet.
Oh my god, she writes some one word and we ruin it for her. This is
I was curious, did you guys add any personal touches to Benji and David? Because I
Nah.
think I caught a Bushwhackers reference.
yeah,
Yeah.
very good. Wait, you know about the
Yeah.
Bushwhackers?
How
Or
do
did
you
you have to
know
look that
that?
up?
No, I have had discussions. I know wrestling as well. But
Okay.
I'm not as into it as I think you
Yeah,
are.
he's really into it.
Really into it. And I remember that was me discussing, and then they were like, we heard rolling, and I was like, you told me they're not using the sound.
Yeah.
But we kept the mics on anyway, so I was like, remember the Bushwhackers?
Yeah.
And I sort of imagined that, like, when we were kids, we probably would have watched wrestling, but I got really into it, and you
definitely.
kind of, like, didn't.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought it was appropriate. Like, you don't remember the Bushwhackers? They used to
Yeah.
actually lick kids' heads. In the audience.
Well,
That was
They
part.
did.
They would come down
They
the
would
aisle
come
and they would
down.
grab the heads and like lick the kids' heads.
Yeah.
And the parents would be like, oh, wrestling.
Yeah.
Grown man licking my child's
Did you
face.
always
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
be one of those kids that got there?
No, God, no. No, I was like, okay, don't be in the front row when the Bushwhackers come out.
Yeah. The guys from New Zealand. And they were...
Yeah. So you've looked them up since.
Oh, I knew the Bushwhackers
knew
when I was
that-
younger. They were my favorite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love those guys.
Oh,
I
wow.
love those guys.
See, I didn't know that.
No.
Oh, no, I went to
So
WrestleMania
it got
when I
left
was
in.
younger.
But did you, Jesse, I know you originally wanted to play Benji when you wrote this character. So do
Yeah,
you
just before.
relate more to Benji than you would David?
No, I aspire to be Benji. I mean, what part of this movie is like my character talking about how much I wish I was him, but also how upsetting it is for me that he's not living up to his potential because his potential far surpasses my own.
Right.
So no, I envy people like him, and I've played a character like this in a play that I did here. And so I wanted to do it in a movie because it's an exhilarating character for me to play. But no, I'm more like David, and I'm lucky that I didn't play this part because I mean, it's not a better
So good.
performance in the world? Yeah, it's the
No,
greatest thing.
Kieran, like
Where would you have
seriously.
gotten the Bushwhacker reference? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
You thought,
Exactly.
no.
Yeah.
And I know these two, when they're traveling together, obviously there's things that David maybe finds annoying about Benji. I'm curious now that you two have traveled a lot together. Are there either annoying things you find about each other or cute things that the other does that you've noticed?
I don't know about cute, but we've had to travel on planes together, and he won't check a bag, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah. That's why we don't have to travel to the hotel together. Yeah, because you're waiting. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, what, 7 minutes that you would be waiting in the car for me? But yeah,
It's
fine.
about
I mean,
7
you're
minutes.
given your own car anyway. You could check a bag, but like he also goes
just
to
make
like
sure.
you brush your teeth before getting on the plane,
Of course.
which is really
course.
interesting. Like you'll go to the lounge and eat the little whatever salmon,
Little
and then
bit.
go brush your teeth, and then
right.
go right to bed.
Really studied you. Have
Yeah.
you studied him in any way?
Yes, he usually shows up right before the plane is taking off, and yet he's welcomed with open arms, and they give him a better seat. He's one of these people that just like, he's late to everything, but when he gets there, they're like, hey, come on in, we're so happy you came. Yeah,
that's
and me, I'm early and they're annoyed. Yeah.
It takes
Like-
about an hour plus to get to the airport from my house, and I got in with 25 minutes before the flight was going to leave. I got in the car, and I was like, they'll have to pull me off. But the car got there just in time. They just held the flight because they don't want you to miss flights. That's how I feel. There's like,
no,
I'm
they don't
late.
want you to miss flights.
No, They don't, because that means more work for them. Now they have to like book me on another thing and do this. They get him on the freaking flight.
knows the trick.
Trust me, if you
No,
show up late,
the
they
world
want you
opens
on
its arms to him. I don't know what that is. I try to do it. No one likes it. For some reason, he's just one of these people. Hey, you want an extra piece of cake? Or, actually, he's a little hungry as somebody's passing by with a huge thing of food. Like, it's just the world loves him.
You know what I did to him on the last flight? You don't mind? I'll do out of time. I'm telling this story though. I'm telling the story. So we were in two different sections, both business class, but we were both and he's in the front section. I went to the bathroom, and on the way back, this is before the flight took off. I just went, Jesse, and he looked up and smiled like I was going to talk, and I went, Jesse Eisenberg, and like everyone turned to look, and then I just f***ed off to my seat. Just like, I'm sitting for 7.5 hours giggling to myself about this poor...
And I'm hiding under a pillow.
He's trying to sleep. He's like, people are going to take pictures of me sleeping on a
Kieran,
plane.
you're the worst.
Exactly. Thank
You're
you.
the
When you
worst.
see somebody who's really anxious, you just want to prod and poke and make
You
them
do?
more anxious.
You
Well,
do?
one
Listen,
does.
Yeah, one might.
This tour's almost over, Jesse. You'll be done. You'll be
I
fine.
know.
You can,
Thank you.
Leave Kieran to do this to someone else.
Yeah.
Thank you for the
Thank you so
feature.
much.
Thank you for
so much.
everything.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Send you pics and thanks.